All right, pure students gather here. We have a question under copper purification, which says copper is purified by electrolysis as shown below. So this is a process for purification of copper. Now, as we know that after copper is manufactured, it is now taken for purification. And that purification involves the use of what? Electricity. We call it the electrolysis. Now we've got A, B, C, and D, and which says name the materials used for the electrodes A and B. It also says name the electrolyte C and name substance D. It further says write equations for the reactions that take place at the anode and cathode during this process. All right, so without wasting much of our time, they are saying name the material used for the electrodes A and B. Now you need to know that these materials, they are made from copper itself, because if you're trying to purify copper, why should we use other electrodes? So A is made, which is A, as you can see, they are different the way I've drawn them. A is made from pure copper, and B is made from impure copper. So let's look at the solutions. Part A. So electrode A is made from pure copper, okay, and B is made from what? Impure copper. All right, there's a reason for that. So now, during the process of purification of copper, what happens that the anode, all right, usually the anode is the one having the impure copper, and usually the cathode is the one having the pure copper. So during the whole process, electrons from the impure copper, they will move from the anode to the cathode. All right, because we know that at the anode, that is where oxidation occurs, because that is where the loss of electrons occurs, and those electrons, they will move to the cathode here. Those electrons, they are copper electrons. They are copper electrons. Let's call them Cu2+, where they are accepted now at the what? At the cathode here. This process will keep on happening, and at the end of the day, this one, the impure copper, will decrease in size, and when the impure copper decreases in size, that means all the impurities has gone down. Then whatever that will remain, it will be the pure copper that we need. Okay, so now name the electrolyte C. Name the electrolyte. Now the electrolyte is a solution which helps us to purify copper, and that solution is called acidified copper 2 sulfate. We use acidified, not just any copper 2 sulfate solution, but it has to be acidified. Acidified copper 2 sulfate solution. That is the electrode. So the electrolyte, it's usually blue in color, as you can see by the dotted by the lines there. All right, then it says name substance D. Substance D, these are impurities now after copper has been what? Has been purified. These can include impurities such as gold, silver. All right, so these are impurities. So C, D are impurities, e.g. usually they are impurities of precious metals like gold, all right, and silver. Then D says write equations for the reactions that take place at the anode and cathode during this reaction. So let's write the anode, and let's write cathode here. Now we know that anode, that is where oxidation occurs, and at the cathode, that's where the reduction occurs. Now in terms of electron, electrons, reduction is the gain of electrons, while oxidation is the loss of electrons. Now remember from the diagram I said the anode loses electrons towards the cathode. That means at this particular moment, copper at the anode is losing electrons. So we are saying copper, a solid, is losing electrons to form copper ions. So it's losing electrons to form copper ions. We have this like that. That is the equation. Okay. Then on the other hand, which is on the cathode is accepting electrons. So this pure copper is already in ionic form. So let me say in ionic form or in solution form, it has got already ions. Then it's accepting what? Electrons from the anode to form the solid copper, which is now pure one. So here we are saying the aqueous copper, which is the pure one, it accepts electrons from the anode, giving us what? Copper, which is a solid, which is what? Pure. Which is what? Pure. So this copper here, it's pure. So well, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for following this video. Pure students, we have for you chemistry and physics and additional mathematics. In Law for Online classes, you can revise nicely with us, and we are going to make sure that you do the best in your exams. If you want to pass, you know what to do.